all my life I've been trying to find beauty. It's as if I've been looking for something and I can't find it. It's like all my life I've been looking for something that I can't find. So like my life has never seen anything that actually matters. But 3 months ago it all changed when I met this blind girl that worked at Safeway. See, every day I go to Subway because a brother gets tired from cutting class and looking at people. So I go to Subway doing my same usual gangster limp that I always do. And I see the same blind girl working behind the counter of Subway that I see every day. And I tell you straight up, shawty is a 10, not even a dime. I give her a whole $2. I'm giving this girl more lines than Tetris. Like, girl, you must be a Martian because your body is out of this world. You know, I'm saying these jokes and she's not picking up anything that I'm saying. And I'm noticing this with her facial gestures, so I wave my hand in front of her face. And she says, why are you waving your hand in front of my face? So I just wipe the embarrassment off of mine and I order the same thing that I always order. You know what it is. Cold cut combo with ham, cheese, wheat bread, lettuce, pickles, all the vinegar, oil. You know how it is. But I walked in on a Tuesday. Not to see the same cute, flirtatious blind girl with a hairnet behind the Subway counter, but to see a depressed blind woman with tears in her eyes. So I asked her to take a break and tell me what's going on. And she's like, you want to hear true stories? And I'm like, word. You want to tell true stories? And she's like, word. And she proceeds to tell me that more and more her mind is moving on a frequent flow, though her body won't follow. She tells me she's the oldest of hives who have no riches in their pockets, but only in their hearts, and her chest remains hollow. She tells me her mother works 3 jobs and she works 2, just so there's enough money for her little brother to take a shower in the shadow. She tells me it's like seeing a 94-year-old woman with blood and all of the wrinkles in her body living in a grotto, trying to swim to the top and gasp for air, but all she does do is swallow and gargle. She tells me that she's blind and it's so hard for her to see the beauty in this world. She's treated so ugly as her motto. And that if I could show her the direction of the yellow brick road out of this world, that she would gladly follow. And I'm sitting there like, word? Do you want to hear true stories? She's like, word. You want to tell true stories? And I'm like, word. I tell her, every day I walk in the Subway to see the helpless help the hopeless. And the person that I'm interested in most can't see but remains focused. I love how your heart's been broken. You find a way to pull the pieces together, hand them to your mother, your 3 sisters, and your 2 brothers. And I notice that you are the realest chick that I've ever seen, and you don't need eyes to see that within you. But what depresses me is I've shown Dorothy to the end of the yellow brick road, and she still can't see how beautiful she is. And the reason why I stand on my tiptoes when I speak to you is because I'm trying to see your beauty at eye level. She says that sweet but be real. I tell her real is that you're intellectual. She says, but I'm blind. I says, but you're not blind, you're beautiful. She says, but I'm blind. I said, you're not blind beauty, your beauty is blinding. And at that moment was the first time my eyes have actually seen something that mattered. Whatever I was looking for, I had found it right there. I tell you, you have never seen beauty until you've seen a blind person have tears of joy. It was crazy how she could see nothing, but at the same time see everything. And that's what I noticed. Sometimes in order to see beauty, you must be blind. Jab, jab, punch. Jab, jab, punch. The sweet science of boxing. Jab, jab, punch. Ever since I was little, my dad always told me that fingertips were meant to be clenched and thrown around rapidly. Jab, jab, punch. See, even though I write, I would box because it was a connection that I had with my father. See, boxing is different than life. In life, when a punch comes towards you, you tend to duck and dodge it. But in boxing, you have to come towards it. See, I always live by these 3 principles that my dad always told me. 1, a man always confronts his fear. 2, a man always squares up with his problems. 3, a man always leases his problems on the fear. So, the only person I ever really feared was my dad. So, with my dad in boxing, it was no problem. Jab, jab, punch. Even though I'd come to school with blacker eyes, bruised lips, and my body would be completely sore from the punishment it would take, boxing was great. Jab, jab, punch. See, my dad always told me that you throw 1 punch to throw off your opponent, another one to soften him up, and then you give him another hook so they can feel the earthquake. Jab, jab, punch. I would box and I would write. Even though I feel like boxing ain't right. I have a glove in my left hand and a pen in my right. But if the glove is in my left hand, that must mean it's wrong, right? Jab, jab, punch. I remember I told my dad exactly how I felt about boxing compared to writing. And I'll never forget the disappointment that I saw within his eyes. Next thing I know, I'm in the ring with the person that I fear the most, the one who's to help me. And I'm using the same words that he told me back against him. Jab, a man always confronts his fear. Jab, a man always squares up with his problems. Punch, a man always uses his problems on the fear. Jab, jab, punch, jab, jab, punch, jab, jab, punch. Dad, I don't love boxing. Next thing I know, I wasn't telling my dad I don't love boxing. I was really telling him that I don't love him. Because the only connection I really ever had with my father was between a fist. And I looked at his bruised eyes and swollen lip. And not only did he walk away from the ring, he walked away from me. And I picked up his glove, and there was a note taped inside of it. And it said, "Fingertips only seem useful when connected to ink. I write down what I think as his pad becomes my shrink. My ideas, they lay down, they relax, and they breathe. And they talk to someone who will let them speak. But barriers exist so my thoughts aren't free. Between margins and lines, my soul constantly leak. Processing bleeds, so this monstrous sheik cries out his thoughts on this paper sheet. Tears as pure as infants fall down this angel's cheek. Trying to soar through the air, but has been stripped of his wings. His tongue remains voiceless, but his fingertips sing. It seems as though the brain of paper are made with a pen as a ring. They are co-workers, mind, knuckle, and paper intertwined as a team. I'm a useless person except in my dreams, and I see that now every time that I blink. That fingertips only seem useful when connected to ink. Connected to ink. See, my dad always told me that fingertips were meant to be clenched and thrown around rapidly. 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 He'll never know that his words hit me harder than any fist ever